Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Fire Red Randomizer Nuzlocke. Last time, well, we did a lot of stuff last time. Made a lot of evolutions and took on a lot of trainers. This time, I'm here in Celadon because it is finally time to tackle Cycling Road. Something I'm not looking forward to. Give me 1 second to fix this. There we go. Alright, so, Cycling Road is long, and we already... Why is my cursor on screen? And we already showed off, I already showed off a trip to Fuchsia. So I figured this time I'd speed things up and play some of my favorite music from one of my favorite artists named Mewmore, who does Pokemon remixes as well as other video game remixes. So if something happens, I'll slow back down, but until then, enjoy! Alright, let's see what our Route 17 encounter is. We got... a city! One level away from evolving, I'm pretty sure. Alright. Everything I have is gonna kill you, so let's just go ahead and catch you. Or not. Oh, it's a fast city. That did a lot of damage. Go with A. Ba-ba-beam! Ba-boom, ba-beam. Uh-oh. A speed fell. Oh, that's not good for the Raikage. Isn't the Raikage supposed to be, like, super fast? I think so. A, anyway, not Darui. I don't know about Darui. There we go, we got the city. Yeah, we name you, Biff. Alright, back to where we were. Alright, that does it for Cycling Road. That didn't take as long as I thought it would. I thought it was going to take, like, a lot longer. It definitely would have been, like, one episode if I had, just done Cycling Road at normal speed, so I think this was a good decision.
Thank you for waiting. We restored your Pokemon to full health. Have a nice day. We hope to see you again. We hope that your Pokemon get injured.
Alright, time to throw the Cal all the way to Saffron. Crash. Alright. Finally, the long-awaited moment. Not you. The Dojo. I think it's about time to take on the Dojo. I tried to get everyone up to level 43 instead of everyone in the party at least. But oh, shoot, I did the same thing I did during the speed up. Alright, there we go. None of these are double battles, but you know, just in case the game throws a fast one at me. Champion Mark! Oh my god, we're gonna fight the champion already. Who do I have out front? If only I had a counter to Suicune. Unfortunately, I don't. As per that one video I did, that I recently edited. I'd like to kind of bring up something real quick. This is my first time recording in like 2 weeks. I started back full time at my job, and I also started therapy, which is really good because I haven't done therapy in like 4 years. And you know, it's really, if you have issues that you need to work out, therapy is a really good option. I'm not sponsored by therapy, but I wish I was. So I've just been like super busy, which is why the upload schedule was a little wonky. I only got one upload out the week I'm recording this. Basically, when I went back to full-time, I tried to upload the videos at 4 o'clock, or not 4 o'clock, 4:30 Central Standard Time. Excuse me. But I work until 4, so I would have to come back and get everything ready and then upload the video. And I was actually about to get another video out, but YouTube was being really slow with uploading my first video, and I really just didn't want to go through the process. And then any other time I thought about uploading a video, I was in the middle of something else, so it just kind of became something I wasn't able to do. So I apologize for the skull bash from a moth. That would terrify my sister. My sister hates moths. So I apologize for the upload schedule recently. I'm trying to adjust to a new schedule, so uploads may be coming at a later time than before. Just kind of give myself a chance to kind of switch from work mode to not work mode, which, granted, are two very similar modes for me because I go to work and I don't work. I do work, actually. I just pretend like I don't work. I tell people that I just sit at my desk and pretend to work, but I actually do. There are days where I'm like, how do I do all this? And like when I was working part-time, I was doing a full-time job. And you may be asking, how do you do that? And the answer is, you don't. So now that I'm actually full-time, I'm taking on a couple other responsibilities as well. So I've just been so tired as well. So hopefully, I'm recording this on a weekend. Nuzlocke. What do I want to do for Nuzlocke? I guess you have voice game. I'm recording this on a weekend now, and hopefully I got 2 more videos edited today, and I'm hoping that I can just kind of record throughout this weekend, maybe do some other recordings at night, but as I've learned, that is when Fidget becomes active and starts running all over the place. But recently she's been doing better. She's been kind of more relaxed at night. Unless I'm going to bed, then she gets excited. Let me switch you out to front. I might have to switch out some team members for Silph Co. And let's fight you. Take your shoes off! I'm sorry. I should have taken my shoes off at the door. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Champion Kate. Charmeleon. In the past week, in case anyone's curious about dumb updates, past couple weeks that I haven't really recorded anything, I started playing Pokemon Masters again. I may have brought this up before. I think I started playing Pokemon Masters while I was still recording videos. I can't remember exactly when I started, but good God, that game, if I'm not careful, it will drain my wallet. And I haven't spent any money on it recently, mainly because I'm a little more concerned about it now. But good lord. There's always like gem offers, which is like the in-game currency to get new characters to play as. And it's like if you have 300 you can do one, but if you have 3,000 you can do 11. And I'm like, oh, that's a good deal. And then it's like, lol, you didn't get anything except 3 stars, which is the lowest star, unless you hatch an egg, which is a 1 star. So the lowest you can get is 3 star. You got 11 3 stars. Try again. And I'm like, okay, I will, and then I do, and then it's like, okay, you got 1 4-star this time, and then you get like a 5-star, but it's not the 5-star that you want. It's a different 5-star, one that you already have, and you're like, great, what am I gonna do with this? And they're like, nothing. Yeah, try again, and then you buy more, and then it's like you do it again, and then next thing you know, you spend like hundreds of dollars just to get your waifu. What? I've had some experiences with Pokemon Masters. Why am I using Spark on a bug type? Right. Silcoon fainted. Champion Joe!
Hua ha! Beaten! Why am I Zoidberg? Indeed, I have lost. But I beseech you, do not take our emblem as your trophy. In return, I will give you a prize-fighting Pokemon. Choose whichever one you'd like.
Alright, what do we got? The hard-kicking Hitmonlee. Or... oh, the piston-punching Hitmonchan. Oh, man, that's a hard decision. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. I have both Rigaflef and Nut. And for Alligator. I only have Raichu and A. So I think I'm gonna go with Jolteon. Yeah, I'm gonna name you... You're a Joet and you didn't even know it. Alright, let's go take a look at Joet. Where's the Pokemon Center? There it is. Let's heal first. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. I hope you enjoyed the Mew music I picked out, by the way. They do really good music. I listen to it at work a lot. Alright, we can... a red shard? Get out of here. Can't offer me a red shard. Also, this Zubat knows Hyper Beam. I don't know if I pointed that out. Do you have an item? No, it's fine. Alright, what's your summary? Volt Tackle, Horn Attack, Zap Cannon, and Skull Bash. You're gonna be a backup member for now. Yeah, we should probably switch out some team members. Let's leave you in there. We'll switch you out for Rigafluff. Switch you out for Pinguine. Switch you out for Agatha Cursed. Switch you out for... go Kiffle. And then we're not going to need an HM user, so you can just kind of chill down there. And we'll put in Submanite, who still has the lucky egg. Let me take that away from you real quick. I'm not going to be using the lucky egg right now. I don't know why I went here. Because everyone's still pretty high leveled. So I don't really see a need to... Like, they're high enough level to take on Koga right now. Who has... I think his highest level is 43 or 44. But they're definitely ready to take on Silph Co, which we'll be doing this time. Well, part of it anyway. We're not going to do the whole thing. Isn't there supposed to be someone over here? It's all complicated words and numbers that make no sense. At a secretary's desk? What is a secretary doing? Are they like schedules or something like that? Are you Red? Are you illiterate? Silph Co, head office 1F. Okay, maybe he's not. Alright. Silph Co is a maze. If you don't know how to get through it, you're going to be here for a while. Fortunately for you, I know how to get through it. Unfortunately for you, I'm not going to be going through it the normal way that you're supposed to. I'm going to be going through and fighting everyone, so I can get everyone up to level 43, so I can be even more overpowered than I already am. Hooray! Being Ewing grew to level 70... Nope, didn't grow to level 744, gained 744 experience. Here comes Cacnea. Why didn't James's Cacnea ever evolve? Imagine if Team Rocket from the Pokemon anime had the Zenkai boost that Goku and Vegeta got in Dragon Ball Z. Like, just think about that for a minute. Like, like how overpowered Team Rocket would be if they got Zenkai boosts from almost dying as often as they do. Level 25 Salamence. That isn't possible until Gen 7. There was one time you can, so through in Gen 7 you can uh-oh, Icy Wind missed. Fire Punch. Oh, we're fine, okay. There was one time in Gen 7, there's this thing called SOS. SOS chaining, where if you get a Pokemon down to like low health and they have the option to, they'll call for help. And Bagon in one of the first areas can call for help from either a Shelgon or a Salamence, and you can SOS chain to get a level 7 Salamence, which is kind of interesting, but it's also like a good way of shiny hunting as well. I've only done it once with Execute, and I tried doing it with Fletchling, but it didn't work out. Anyway, point of my story is I went down to Colorado once. There goes my ice maker. With my for Thanksgiving, I think it was. Yeah. I was in college at the time. I was like staying at a dorm, so my family came and picked me up, and my mom and my sister were staying down in Colorado with my aunt, and my dad and I had to go back because he had work and I had school, so we had to drive back. And we live in Wisconsin, like northern Wisconsin. Well, at the time I was in Minnesota, but we live in northern Wisconsin. And to get from like Denver, Colorado area to northern Wisconsin, it is about a 16 to 18 hour drive depending on how many stops you take. So you can drive straight through, which is what we usually did. We didn't typically stay at hotels, just because it's cheaper, surprisingly, and it's also like, you know, just 1 day drive instead of a 2 day drive. So my dad and I left like really early in the morning, and then when we got, it was just out of Minneapolis, I believe, we got heading towards Duluth, Minnesota, which is where I was going to college. And all of a sudden there was traffic that just came to a standstill. And we were there for, it was because like a really bad accident, and we were there for like a couple of hours, I think. But like shortly after we got dinner in Minneapolis, I started SOS chaining a Bagon to try and get a level 7 Salamence, or a shiny Bagon if possible. And then I accidentally because it got to the point where there's different things that you can try and do to stall an SOS chain, because it's not a guarantee that a Pokemon will show up every time, so you have to kind of stall sometimes. And one of the ways I was stalling was throwing weak Pokeballs at Shelgon because they were never catching, because, you know, they're weak Pokeballs, and Shelgon has a high catch rate. After, I think, like 4 hours of SOS chaining trying to get a Salamence to show up, also no shiny showed up. I accidentally caught a Shelgon in a Beast Ball while we were still in traffic. And I'm like, I was telling my dad that I just spent like the last 4 hours trying to do something and messed it up. My dad was like, you seriously just spent 4 hours doing that? Maybe it's not a very funny story, but, you know, it's just one of those stories that, like, I remember. We went to Colorado this last summer, like a couple months ago, to visit everyone, visit our family, and we stayed at a hotel both times on our way down there, and we stayed with my grandpa when we were down there, but like we stopped at hotels, and gosh, as a kid, I love staying at hotels. Like, I'm like, I want to stay at a hotel so I can go swim in a pool. And my grandparents, who often were the ones that took me and my sister to and from Wisconsin. My parents did too, but like a lot of, I think like 50% of the time it actually was with my grandparents. I'd be like, I want to go stay at a hotel so we can go in a pool. And my grandparents were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go stay at a hotel so we can stay in a pool. And then we'll have Cracker Barrel or whatever is in the area for dinner. So we would do that. And now as an adult, I'm like, I just want to get home, man. So I'm willing to like drive straight through just to get home. I'm like, I just want to, like, I will drive. And when I say I will drive straight through, I mean my dad will. Because he doesn't like not driving on big trips like this. So I usually just kind of kick my feet up in the back seat and watch movies or something on my iPad, or play video games. The last time we went out in July, which is when Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword came out, and it came out the second day that we were driving down there. So we stopped in Nebraska, and Skyward Sword had come out, and I asked my parents, I said, can we stop at a GameStop or Skyward Sword for the Switch, I mean, by the way, not the Wii one. But I asked my parents, I'm like, can we stop at like a GameStop or a store like that so that we can pick up Skyward Sword? And they're like, if there's one on the way, I guess. They're like, well, we're gonna go to the mall when we get to Colorado to pick up some stuff. They're like, you can just go then. I'm like, I want to play it in the car though. And they're like, fine. So then we ended up stopping for breakfast somewhere, and there was a Target in the area. And my dad was like, will Target have your game? I'm like, probably. So I went into Target, found the game, and the guy was like, we have some Joy-Cons, the special Joy-Cons left over. Do you want to get those too? I'm like, yes. So I ended up getting Skyward Sword and the special Joy-Cons that I thought were pre-order bonuses only. And then played it for a little bit on the way down before I realized that stick controls aren't great for Skyward Sword because you can't really move the camera that well. I don't really like the control scheme for Skyward Sword. I feel like they tried too much with motion controls, I feel like. And it's something that they stick by. They still throw motion controls into the games. I'm like, you know, some people like it, but... And there are some cool Skyward Sword things that you can do with motion controls, don't get me wrong. But when everything I do is motion controlled, it's kinda not fantastic. Granted, the Joy-Cons have better motion controls than the Wii. But still, it's like, I just want to sit down and play the game, which is why I wanted to play stick control. but that doesn't work. What do we got? Signal beam. Interesting. Let's clear out this floor. If there is anyone else. There is anyone else. We're fighting a lot of Elite Four members. I don't know. I haven't actually... The only 3D Legend of Zelda game that I've ever beaten was Breath of the Wild. And it's not the only... I've beaten several 2D, like top-down 2D Zelda games. I've beaten Link's Awakening, the Switch version, Link to the Past, the SNES version, Minish Cap, Link Between Worlds, and I've played a few others. I've played the original one. I haven't beaten it, but I played the original one. I played a very small amount of the second one. I've played Oracle of... which one? One of the Oracle games. I have both of them, but I've only played through, like, part of one of them. And I don't know, I like the top-down 2D Zelda games better. Despite that, though, I bought Ocarina of Time 3 times. Once on the WiiWare store, once on GameCube, and then once on the 3DS. And I have not beaten it. But I am planning on beating this game, and we'll continue to work towards that next time. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time when we take on more of Silph Co. I'll see you all then. Later.